Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Marketer's Blueprint podcast. I am your host, Nathan Gibson, and again with me, I have Mr. Gabe Arnold himself. Gabe, how are you doing today?
Fantastic. It's beautiful out here, and I love spending time here with you and sharing this with everybody in our online family. So it's a good day.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Here in the Midwest, it has been really warm, which is a great change from the cold weather that we've had for the past couple months. It's long overdue. But today we have an excellent episode planned for you guys, and I'm really excited about it. So, Gabe, as you know, building a business is about playing the long game. Nobody builds a business overnight. So, the truth is, most people who encounter your brand aren't ready to pull out their wallets right away. Who would have thought, right? They're in the early stages of their journey and just getting to know you. You can't expect somebody to pay you money if they're just meeting you, right? Nobody pulls out their wallet when meeting a stranger. And
Yeah.
that's perfectly normal. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how to nurture those relationships, warm up your prospects, and guide them towards being loyal customers. Gabe, I wanted to ask, do you have any initial insights on how important it is to understand where a customer is at in their journey and how to navigate that as a business owner?
Yeah, one of the big things to pay attention to as we dive into this is that as business owners, we have the curse of knowledge. And that's
Right.
it's good and it's a curse in that people say that because we know ultimately what our ideal customer needs.
Mm-hmm.
Know how much they're probably going to need to invest time and money. We know, all these different aspects about the problems that they have. If we truly know our audience and do our market research and spend time in talking to our prospects and our customers and understanding them at a deeper level, we understand that, especially at the point where they have made the purchase or engaged in our program or bought our product or asked for our service and they're paying.
Yeah.
The curse of knowledge is the challenge that because we know where we want them to be, we often can forget all the steps it takes to get there, the journey to
Mm.
learn, to understand, to build trust, and then to make a selection. And so it's easy to overlook that just from a lack of awareness, not by,
Right.
and end up kind of breaking your customer journey or not designing your customer journey in an intentional way to make them successful because you know too much from that seat or that frame.
Yeah, and I think that's super important. That is what we're going to dive in today is all about the customer journey because it's not as linear as people think. It's more like a funnel, and we've really developed our strategies around that, and I can't wait to dive into it. But hold on. Did you think I'd forget about the marketing minute? I bet you thought I'd forget. So we're gonna take a second here and do one of my favorite portions of the episode, and have 1 minute on the clock for Gabe to share what's on his mind today when it comes to marketing, leadership, and technology. So, Gabe, what you got for us today?
Yeah, when it comes to customer journey, I like to think about the experience that I had recently when my wife and I were ready to retire a very worn out, beat up couch. We
Right.
we actually went to a big name brand and walked in, and there's hundreds of different options of couches and recliners and all those things. And we didn't know what we wanted, but we know we wanted to get a new couch. We were
Right.
at a point of need. So we went in and we worked with a great, customer service person there, representative, and they showed us different things and we tried different things and they explained the process and they gently guided us towards like, this seems like it may not match your needs. Why don't you try it? And so when you're thinking about your business and the customer journey, think about that type of physical in-store experience, even if you're not a brick and mortar, and think about how do you guide somebody through to educate them, help them understand the process, and help them make that empowered choice to invest in what's the best fit for them.
Yeah, and I think that's so relevant for today, Gabe. That's awesome. Yeah, and maybe let me know who that was because I have two cats and my couch is kind of the mortal enemy. But no, I'm not ready for that yet. But that's awesome, and it kind of guides us into what we're going to talk about today. And so yeah, what we're going to talk about today is kind of getting your audience ready to buy and understanding where they're at in the journey. And I'm going to explain a couple of things to you guys and then get Gabe's take on it as well. The first thing is, like we talked about, understanding the buyer's journey. And it's a little bit more complex than you would think from the initial standpoint. Your customers need time to get to know you, to trust you, to see the value that you bring, just like you experienced at the furniture store. So I wanted to kind of break it down. So here's the general breakdown of a marketing funnel. Every business owner should know by heart, truthfully. We break it down into three phases. The first is awareness, the top of the funnel. People discovering your brand, just getting to know you, maybe coming across some ads but not clicking on it, the very first stage of awareness. The second is the middle of the funnel, the consideration phase. They research what you do. Maybe look a little bit more into your website and compare options. That's a very crucial thing too. This is where they know they have a need. They're not just browsing, they're doing a little bit more of a deep dive and comparing what you offer to other people in the space or industry. The next is the one we all want them to be in, right? And that's the decision phase, the bottom of the funnel. They're ready to buy. They've done their research. They've compared the options. They've had enough awareness of the brand for enough time in their mind, everybody's different, to make a decision. So, Gabe, can you explain a little bit more to everyone about these stages and how important they are in the life of a customer for a business owner?
Yeah, absolutely. And the top of is very important. You can't move down the progression until you bring awareness. And the way that you effectively bring awareness in your customer journey and the marketing and the things you put out there is you make sure you truly know your audience because you've done the research, you've talked to them, you've surveyed them, you've spent adequate time, and you've worked with maybe you work with a team like us or you have somebody on your team. Go out and do all this research and have live conversations and truly speak to your audience because then you will know who they are. And
Right.
that's a crucial principle inside of it is if I know that I want to sell this really specific type of gaming PC to Nathan, and
Always that example, right?
I love and I know that you're into cats, then I'm actually going to have ads around the gaming PC, that talk about this is a great, machine because your cats won't, get into it or tear it up. Or here's, cats like sitting on top of this machine. I'm making it up, obviously, but the reason you need to
Not a good thing.
it's not a good thing. But the reason you need to know your audience is so that they can self-identify in even the branding you put out there.
Right.
So then they go, "Oh, that's kind of like me, and I do want this new thing, or I do have this need." So the awareness stage is about showing up as who you are as a company and starting to give little snippets and little facets of what it would be like to work with you as a company of buying your products or services, and then also making sure that your audience can identify themselves in what you're putting out there. That's how you want to bring awareness. Oh, they understand people like me. Oh, and yeah, they actually solve a problem I have. Those are two key things that have to happen at the awareness stage. At the consideration stage, you need to log and pay attention to and track and be deeply aware of what kind of, options people look at, what their budgets are depending on what part of the market segment you serve. What features are important because that's where we're looking at features, what benefits and outcomes I'm going to get. They're going to be doing the research and weighing their options, and with varying levels of intention and awareness, they're going to be like, well, where do I want to put my time and money? They may not just think that way, but they are solving for that at some level and how they're making considerations. So middle of the funnel is educating on how it works. Oh, if you do want to buy this PC, Nathan, we can also sell you this enclosure so your cats can sit on the enclosure and think they're on top of the PC.
Now we're talking.
Still enjoy it. So just for your consideration, that's an option too. Yeah. Or, we have a little alarm system you can put around it. So if they come close, they get a little warning and they run away, right?
Yes.
If this is a real product, I
need to write this down.
If this is a real product, I would give you information to consider so you can evaluate, does this truly match my needs?
Yeah.
And then obviously the decision point is, all right, you know who we are. You've been following us for 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, as long as it takes. We serve with great information to build the brand. Now you've been moving closer to well, it is time to do something. And I can tell you, here's the options, here's the power of how it works, all these things. I make sure you're really educated. And then when it comes to decision, then I want to help you make a decision by saying, these are the investment options. This is kind of how the process works. If you buy this, since it has this custom print of your cat's face on the side, it's going to take a week for us to get the picture and build the enclosure, and then we're going to ship it to you. And by the way, we'll call you and make sure everything works and make sure you're all good to go. And so then I'm going to say, so does this sound good? Do you want this now or later? Or you did all this investigation, it's not a fit? That's okay too, but I want to serve you and help you make a clear decision. And those are the things that we have to think about when we go through the whole process of the customer journey.
Yeah, and since you took me through the whole process, Gabe, where do I sign, right? I want to invest in this idea now. Let's go get to work on a patent. But all jokes aside, guys, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Gabe just ran you through exactly he understands his target audience, me, somebody who likes gaming, has PCs, and has 2 cats. Just from what I've shared with you guys on the call today, took me through, what could be included in it, how it's advantageous, the special caveats for this very specific type of buyer. And then at that point, I'm ready to buy it because it resonates so well with me. And I think that that's so important. But I wanted to back up just a little bit there, Gabe, and as we're talking about the different stages of the customer journey and which part of the funnel they're on, why can't somebody jump directly to the decision phase? Or is that possible? And explain a little bit of your psychology around that.
No customer is going to actually jump straight to the decision phase of buying. That's not how human psychology works. They
Right.
have to process through awareness that I have a problem, consideration of options, and then decision. With that said, when there's a big, market of people that are already very aware of the type of product or service you offer, because lots of different competitors do it, awareness is high that if you commute to your job, you need a car. We don't need to establish awareness there.
Right.
And if you're already, you know, if you already know that you love driving a pickup truck, then you have less options for like consideration. And so if I'm already, I have to commute to work, I love driving trucks for whatever reason, I'm already, loyal to Chevy, then it's just about like making a decision on what I want to buy. So the
Mm-hmm.
customer has to go through all those three stages, but where they come into your world is, dependent on what work they've done or where they're at in their own personal journey. And so people can come straight into consideration because certain things I already know I want to buy, and I just need to compare options or look at different companies. There's other times like I know I'm buying from this company, I've already made the consideration, and like as an example with Apple, because I'm a huge Apple fan, there's no awareness needed for Apple. I already have that. I've already done consideration typically of what I want to do. So I'm just going to go. I'm at the decision point. I'm going to go buy the new iPhone because my phone's, I don't know, a couple years old or something like that. I'm already at the point of I've made the decision. I'm just going to go buy. So you do have to have all those in place, but then you can give your audience kind of signals or options. If they come to your site, they walk into your store, they enter your business world or whatever, you can point them in the right direction. Ready to buy? Go here. Not sure
Right.
about options? Here's how to consider things. Or if they don't know about it yet, then you're building brand awareness and all of that at the top. So people do enter your business at a different phase, depending on what they've already done or their lifestyle, if they already have some awareness of you or they've already done consideration. But they do have to progress through that psychologically, and that's where you have awareness, and then you kind of have guideposts. You go to your website, want to know how our process works? That's more consideration. You go to the website, but it says ready to buy now, click here. Then you can just give them the on ramp to buying now. So it's just awareness of giving options for the three different, stages. And then your buyer will filter, into the right stage for them if you clearly communicate and you're intentional about having the whole customer journey present for whatever stage they need to or want to be in.
Yeah, and I think that that's really important. And I wanted to touch on that too because I knew the answer. I've been around you long enough. People don't just directly jump to the bottom of the funnel. What's
No.
important to know is that it's fluid. The fluidity of it and where the confusion is the time.
Yeah.
Some people can go through all three really quickly. Say they broke their phone,
Yep.
right? And they know they need a new phone. They can go through those funnels really quickly, but they do go into awareness. I know I can choose an Apple phone. I can choose an Android phone. Okay, my previous phone was an Apple. Already past the awareness stage in 5 seconds flat.
Yep.
Then they go into the consideration phase, and typically this one does take a little bit more time, but it can be shorter. Do I want this version of the iPhone? Do I want that version of the iPhone?
Yep.
But they may make it a little bit more quickly because they have a more prevalent pain. So you can move through those funnels quickly, but sometimes it can be the opposite of somebody's like, well, I just got this new phone and I want to just keep up to date. Maybe it's a really tech savvy person. They just keep up to date with the new phone. So they're doing awareness of when the next iPhone is coming out.
Yep.
They're already doing the awareness years ahead of when they'll need the product. Then as it gets closer, their phone gets a little bit more dated, they pay it off, they're ready for an upgrade, they're getting into that consideration phase. And then maybe a couple years later after that, they're ready to buy. The fluidity in these funnels is the time frame. And so you have to be consistent when you're creating these funnels to make sure that you're supporting the people in their journey, whether they go through all three phases of the funnel in one day or 1 year. And so I think is where the confusion typically lies with business owners, and something I wanted to clear up for you guys today. Um, so the next section is how do you warm up prospects and build trust? How do you get people through those different phases of the funnel as a business? So that begs the question, how do you really nurture those relationships and move people down the funnel? I have a couple here that I wanted to discuss, but Gabe, do you have any ideas that come to mind on nurturing relationships and moving people naturally down the funnel?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of, marketing funnels and business processes. You're bringing a new relationship and new prospect and want to help them become a customer if it's right for them. But it's really both like having the awareness first, like we've established, of what potential stage they may be in, and then asking them in different ways. If it's a live conversation, just ask, where are you at in this process of consideration of this solution or product? They'll tell you. Well, I just found out that this was an option for my business. They're in the awareness stage. Or, you know what? I've known about this solution for a while and I'm just trying to figure out what option is best for me. Great. There's still consideration. Or, you know what? I came in here. I want to choose between this and this. They're at the decision making phase. So you can
Right.
ask that if you're in a live conversation, which is a part of your marketing process, is talking to people. You can also do things like on your website, track and pay attention to if somebody's filling out a form here, then they're likely in consideration. Or if somebody's checking out and comparing products side by side, they're in decision phase. You can track that through data. So it's a matter of just knowing what you want to track and then putting simple mechanisms in that give you the flags and indicators. And then if I saw that you were on our site, for the crazy cat computers that I sell you, and you were, asking like, how does this work, or how does the case, the over case that the cat can sit on work, or whatever like that, I can know you're in consideration. And then as you opt in or engage, I can go, man, Nathan kind of entered on this page where we talk about the different options and considerations. I'm going to send him content that helps him make a consideration and gives him the option to start considering a decision. So
Yeah.
there's simple flags in the process that you just need to be aware of and be intentional in putting in place. And then you meet the prospect with the right information that matches the stage that they're at in their buyer's journey.
Yeah, and I think that's super important, and I couldn't have said it better myself. I have a couple of tips that are on the more actionable side, because these are all conceptual, right? So I wanted to give you guys some tips that you can actually implement in your business, because you kind of have to have both. You have to understand the concept of moving people through the funnel and actually having techniques to do so. So I'm going to share a couple of those with you today. The first is create valuable content. Obviously, right? If you guys have watched our other episodes, creating real, actionable, valuable content is always important. And you can use what we call pillar content and related articles to build authority. Build yourself as an authority to get people past that first stage of, recognizing your brand. You can also do targeted email. We are masters of email marketing here internally. We've been doing it for almost 20 years now. Send automated, relevant, that's the key one, emails based on where they are at in the funnel. If you can actively be aware of where your consumers are at in the process, you'll be able to target those phases more effectively and kind of give them more information in the middle of the phase. Let them know what your values are at the first phase, and giving them actual actionable buy decisions at the last phase. So targeted email is really important too. And the next one kind of feeds into that. Segmented retargeting. Show targeted ads or emails based on website behavior. This is a more on the technical side, so if you guys ever need help with that, we can. But you can actually show targeted ads or emails based on what they're doing on your website. And that's a part of understanding that conceptually about the funnel, is understanding where they're at based on where they're at on your website. Are they finding out more about you? Are they actually checking out the buy page? Those type of things. The next one is something that we're really passionate about, and that's building a community. Create a space for your customers and prospects to connect. We've run school communities, Facebook groups, all types of things where we have like-minded individuals that are learning more about our brand as they're communicating with our team members as well. It's super, super important. The next one is something that Gabe has taught me very well, and our team is excellent at, and that is offer free resources. Provide free, valuable resources. That could be tools, consultations, trial runs of your products and things like that. If you give back to the people who are interested in your products or services, they will move down your funnels a lot faster. And then the next one, just for a bonus, is loyalty program. A lot of businesses really benefit from loyalty programs. You see a lot on businesses that have made their name on TikTok Shop, or businesses, especially like B2C businesses that have a product that you need on a regular basis, such as like supplements or things like that, or chewing gum or anything like that. If you have a loyalty program, you're rewarding them for continuing to buy your products. And I think that's really, really important. So, guys, remember, building loyal customer bases takes time. it's taken us a long time of trial and error, learning and optimization to actually build a loyal customer base. By focusing on nurturing your relationships and providing real value, you can actually build a loyal customer base that will support your business for years to come. We talk about oftentimes we have business owners that have been with us even before Gabe formed the business because he built that loyalty with them and that trust. And so we are here for you guys to help navigate this journey. If you are struggling with moving your audience through the right funnels or simply just don't know where to start, which happens all the time, reach out to us. We have links below in our comment section. We would love to help you guys out. And then stay tuned to the end of the video and you'll get access to our newest freebie, the 7-figure sales funnel, which I love to pieces. But it wouldn't be an episode of the Marketer's Blueprint podcast without talking about our win. So our win for this week is for a new client that Gabe actually knows very well, that expressed that they were absolutely thrilled with our team during a recent coaching call. And this was with Mastering Your Menopause. So Gabe, can you expand a little bit on this coaching call and how we did this?
Yeah, so we had our client come to us with an amazing, business idea with that they can bring so much expertise and value to the market with in the space of serving women in menopause. And unfortunately, our client had experienced what is all too common that we hear about. Before she came to us, she'd had other marketing agencies not understand her and not really show up from a place of service and, just being honest, just take her money. And so when we started the process, she shared those concerns. She was anxious and nervous, and we just took time to really slow down, explain our process, and explain the value that she could get when she was intentional in investing and following a clear process. And so every team member here that's working with her has shown up and just really been educational and supportive and helped her build and deepen trust in who we are as a team. And we gave her that extra space and grace and time to acclimate to a team that truly cares about her and will serve her at the highest level. And we let her share her candid emotions about what she was nervous about and everything that happened. And walking through that process ended up in the result of, on the call we had, about a week ago, and she said, I absolutely love your team. They're doing an amazing job. Like, I just really trust and love the BME team. And so we always show up and meet people where they're at. We cover those gaps. We recognize and understand and have such empathy for bad experiences that can happen in the marketing and technology space. And so it's just been so awesome to see her start to grow and learn and launch something that's going to be incredibly powerful.
That's the type of collaboration and care we put into working with our clients. I couldn't have said it better myself. And so, guys, if you liked the video, throw it a thumbs up for us. It helps the channel out a lot. Share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It helps us out a lot. We put out a new podcast every Friday, and we would love to have you guys join our little family. If you also want a team of dedicated experts working around the clock for your business, let us know. You can click the link below and book a call with me. I would love to learn more about any challenges you're experiencing with your business and how things have been running for you. Also, as I mentioned earlier, if you would like to see the exact process that we use to generate winning results like the ones we always talk about, download our free 7-figure sales funnel guide, which we will have linked below, and you can learn exactly how we do such a thing. And finally, if you would like to join our free newsletter where we put out awesome tips, resources, and strategies to help you grow your business, we also have a link for that below. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today's episode. Gabe, it was lovely to see you yet again, and I hope to see all of you next time.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.